everybody. You made it to the weekend. How is everybody doing? We're here to keep you company once again. Thank you guys for joining us. Before we get started, as always, don't forget to follow us on social media. You can follow us on Twitter at @theblown_save and on Instagram at @theblown_save. Don't forget, you can also still reach out to us at theblownSavePodcast@gmail.com. That being said, set your calendars, SoCal residents. The Blown Save Podcast is proudly sponsoring the Waves Project inaugural Veteran Golf Classic on November 12th this year in Temecula Creek, at the Temecula Creek Inn Golf Resort. Lots of fun to be had. There will be putting green contest, breakfast buffet, lunch, lots of prizes with some awesome swag bags for players and raffle prizes. If you guys are interested in joining the event as a player, please visit wavesgolf.com for further information. Now, before I get too far, I always got to bring my guy, my one, my only, my compadre, Mr. RT Casas. How you doing, baby?
I'm good, man. Over here trying to recover from yesterday.
For those of you guys that don't know, yesterday, me and the compadre, we went out golfing yesterday. Had a good time. Hadn't golfed with him in a while now, huh? It had been a minute since we'd gotten. You'd hit the course a couple times, but I haven't hit that, especially that course. But it was really fun. I did a little bit better than I have been doing. I realized that I need to eat a little more before golfing and drinking. But I know you pulled the muscle.
No, I didn't pull nothing.
Uh-huh.
I said I had sympathy pains for you.
Oh, sympathy pain. My bad. but the groin is feeling better, sir?
It is. I really don't know what it was. I think it was just all the walking, all the uphill on the grassy areas, especially. I went in the bunker a couple times and had to kind of jump around through there.
Yeah.
And I think it's just a little bit of a strain type of thing. And like I said, a little bit of sympathy pains for you.
I got you. Well, I'm glad that you're feeling better. And believe me, the sympathy is much deserved. So we're good there. 2 weeks, man. I've been gone, and we finally getting to record again. We're actually recording us on a Saturday, guys. So if you guys were looking for it yesterday and didn't find the show, I actually had two people text me, and I was like, "Oh no, we didn't record last night. Just some things came up, and we weren't able to record. But we're going to record on Saturday, and we'll post it up." So, thank you guys for reaching out and letting wondering like, "Hey, what happened?" But last week I was gone, or for the last week and a half I was gone. Went on my honeymoon finally with the wife. We were in Cancun, got to go see some pyramids, got to go scuba diving, got to go a little walk underwater with the stingrays. It was overall, it was a great trip. Got to spend some time just relaxing. I think we slept in like 3 or 4 of the different days. It was till like 10 o'clock, and it was great. So I hung out by the pools and did all the fun stuff. A big shout out to all those guys out there at the Mexicali Resort in Cancun, actually in Playa del Carmen, which is just south of Cancun. They really took care of us while we were over there, so we really greatly appreciate it.
Would you go back?
Absolutely. I told the comadre, I told her if and when we go back to Playa del Carmen, I want to go to the same resort. It's right on the water.
Mm-hmm.
There isn't a lot of stuff for like kids to do, but the pool is like they got 3 pools, all with bars and restaurants like attached to them, which is really cool. At one point, we were able to get in the pool, jump out, get to our table, then jump back in the pool to get back to our table. It was just good to like kind of. It was really humid. Don't go in the late summer, guys. Go early in the spring, which is what we're gonna do in a couple years. But definitely, I really like the resort. It was just really beautiful and peaceful and whatnot. So, good times.
All right, cool.
All right, man. Let's. I know these guys don't want to hear about my vacation, so let's get into the show. We're gonna start off with the NBA. The Lakers just got a little bit better. Hell yeah. Now they're going to be healthy, and they get Russell Westbrook from the Washington Wizards. They did have to send off Kentavious Caldwell-Pope and Montrezl Harrell, Kyle Kuzma, which I was kind of sad to see because I really like Kuzma. And number 22 pick, Isaiah Jackson, who was traded then to Indiana. Like I said, I'd be sad to see the Kuz go, but if the Lakers are wanting to win right now, and that's what it's looking like, this is a really smart move. They were also rumored to be going after CP3, but now with Westbrook, it doesn't look like CP3 is coming to the Lake Show. I know this is like the second time, I think, CP3's been in the talk to come to the Lakers, and both times it hasn't happened, or 3 times it hasn't happened. So it just wasn't meant to be. CP3.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how it all works out with the dynamics because Westbrook, the truth is the Lakers needed shooting, man. Even though I like Westbrook and everything, I'm curious to see how it fits because he's a driver, very similar to LeBron,
Mm-hmm.
and he's a streaky shooter. Of course, he's a triple double machine, but he's usually a triple double machine on teams that need him to be.
Yeah.
The Lakers probably aren't going to need him to do that because of Davis there being able to rebound and LeBron being able to do triple doubles himself.
Yeah.
So I'm very curious to see how it works out with them. I'm sure they're going to be able to balance out the minutes differently,
Mm-hmm.
meaning like, there'll be times for Davis to take over the game, times for LeBron to take over the game, and Westbrook to take over the game. I think the only thing I'm really sad is kind of like you said with Kyle Kuzma. He was always a little bit inconsistent, and but the thing is, the Lakers just don't give young players a chance to develop anymore. They just want like instant results now.
Yeah.
It's not okay. Hey, let this guy develop.
Ku-
Let's build a team. Like I was talking to Joe the other day. I said, man, I want to say the last homegrown Lakers to make an All Star game appearance were Kobe and Andrew Bynum. Now, there's been Lakers that have made, or former Lakers that have made it for other teams, like D'Angelo,
mm-hmm.
uh, Ingram, Clarkson, and I don't know if Alonzo Ball has made an All-Star team. I don't think so though. But like those are all dudes that like you give them a chance to develop, they turn
Uh-huh.
into really good players. But they also got to go to teams where they're going to let them play more, play
Yeah.
freely, and I
I
think
know.
that's part of the issue
I
with the
know
Lakers.
some of the games, not this last year, but the year before when they made the championship run.
Hmm.
I know Kuzma was a vital part of that bench coming in to kind of keep the games, going.
Hmm.
And I really started watching him. I was like, wow! Honestly, dude, I almost bought a Kuzma jersey because I was like, I fucking like that, dude. I like the little Kuz. It's
Hmm.
like the food's so nice you got to name it twice. But
Hmm.
I like them, dude. I really did like him. So it's gonna be sad to see him go. But I mean, I guess, and with LeBron's contract coming up, right, or the end of his contract coming up, because Bronny's gonna be getting drafted, and he wants to play with his son, or we've talked about his ability to be able to play with his son in the NBA. They Lakers may be trying to win now, so he gets another championship. So maybe he's like, oh well, let's just stay here then, and then bring Bronny over here, have the Lakers trade up or something like that to go get him. I mean, because any team who gets him is going to have a really good shot of getting LeBron on their team after his contract's up.
It'd be really interesting, really, really interesting.
I think
It might be a big bargaining chip too for whoever gets like a high pick and to see where Bronny's at.
yeah. Well, we just have to wait and see. How many more? 1 year or 2 years?
I think he's entering his junior year of high school.
Okay, so 2 years. So this year and next.
Wow, you can't get drafted until after 1 year after high school.
Oh, so 3 more years?
Yeah,
Ah. Oh, yeah, that's right. They after Kobe was drafted, they made that
not
rule.
Kobe.
Wasn't it
Uh,
Kobe?
nope. Andrew Bynum, I
Was it
believe, is
Bynum?
the youngest player to ever be drafted. But I don't know if it was even after Bynum, but I definitely know the rule wasn't after Kobe
Ah,
for
well,
sure.
I know
Because
they made
LeBron's
the
after
rule.
Kobe, and LeBron was drafted out of high school.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I wouldn't know. I want to say I know Bynum for a fact is the youngest player to ever be drafted in the NBA. Because the rule came in shortly after that, but I don't think the rule was when Bynum got drafted. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I got you. For those of you guys who are scratching your heads, the rule basically says that they have to play at least 1 year in college and or overseas, right?
One they have to be 1 year out of high school,
Ah.
basically, because I'll kind of tie into the next things that I put in here. The draft took place on Thursday,
Mm-hmm.
and there were two dudes, one, two, three, I guess technically non college players drafted. So there was two dudes from the G League and one dude from the NBL. I'm not sure what that is, to be honest. Um, so that's not overseas. G League isn't overseas.
No, it's down here.
Yeah. So I
Where's the
believe the
NBL
rules.
though?
I don't know what that is. To be honest, I don't know. Yeah, I have no idea what that is.
Mm,
But yeah, so yeah, it's just 1 year post high school. Then you can be drafted.
gotcha.
Which is what Lamelo did. Lamelo went and played overseas. Overseas, like what you said.
Yeah.
That dude stopped playing after what his sophomore year, I think, in high school. He didn't play his junior and senior year. He started to play his junior, excuse me, his junior year, and then he gave it up just because he saw that he could make some money.
By the way, I just saw that the National Basketball League is in Australia, so it's the
Oh,
Australian League. So
okay,
that's where
that's
that guy's come
overseas,
from.
right?
Yeah, yeah, it's overseas. A little
Yeah,
bit, a little bit.
there you
Well, why
go.
don't you take us through the draft and see, the first 10 picks, how'd they go?
So this is what the reason I put it on here is because college basketball to me was the one that was really different last year compared to like the NCAA football and stuff like that.
Okay.
Because a lot of teams that were powerhouse teams weren't powerhouses last year and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So a lot of these names I don't even really recognize other than like a couple dudes. The number one pick was the Pistons. They took Cade Cunningham from a point guard from Oklahoma State, and this
Hmm.
dude's legit. Like he is legit. He's really good. And to me, he was like the obvious pick at the number one slot. So it
Okay.
was like, okay, well that dude, and everybody else was getting like, okay, well we're kind of rolling the dice here, like who we think is going to be good. Again, I've never heard of Jalen Green. He was out of the J League, number two pick by the Rockets.
Right.
The Cavs got Evan Mobley from USC. He fits the new type of center in the NBA where, he's kind of like the Giannis, he's really tall and athletic and long.
Yeah.
Raptors went with Scotty Barnes of Florida State. There was a lot of guards that went too. Florida State guard. Magic to Jalen Suggs, another guard from Gonzaga. Thunder to Giddy, the dude that was from Australia over
Hmm.
there at the league. Warriors to Jonathan Kuminga, again another G League player, but he's actually the only forward that was taken in the top 10. Oh no, I like the 10 guy was a forward as well too. Magic to Franz Wagner from Michigan. And again, like I could see that dude Wagner being a good player, like in college, like an elite player, but in the NBA, man, he's gonna be like a little bit like a really good role player if he buys into being a role player. If he tries to be
Yeah.
a superstar, I just don't see it.
Gotcha.
I like this kid, Davion Mitchell from Baylor. I really like him. He's a point guard. He got drafted by the Kings. He's a little bit of undersized point guard at 6'2", but I like that dude. And then the Pelicans took Zaire Williams out of Stanford, another starting forward. Again, I just don't know a whole lot about these dudes, other than Cade Cunningham, the number one pick. Like he's the real deal. He's not like a superstar like LeBron that you're just like, oh, that's an instant Hall of Famer type of thing.
Hmm.
But he's gonna be a real good player. He's gonna be an all star. He's pretty damn good.
Yeah. I see you have a note here
So
that the Pelicans did draft Zaire Williams, but he was traded to the Grizzlies.
that's what it says on there.
Do you know
Yeah,
what they got back for him?
no idea.
Oh, okay.
Unless they're established NBA players, I really don't know a lot about these picks and coming out of college. Just because it was so different this past year.
Yeah. Right on.
I
Right
feel like
on.
like most everything, it was a little bit rushed. So we didn't really get a chance to savor them and get to know them,
Gotcha.
stuff like that. Most of them made their names in the tournament. To be honest,
Yeah. Well, that's where they had the biggest,
platform.
yeah, there you go. Platform is what I was looking for.
Yeah,
Another big news that happened while I was gone, right? The finals happened and went. They came and went, and Suns
yeah,
never got to that fort.
they
Suns in
did
four.
not.
Josh
Suns
was
in
sorry,
four.
bud. Suns in four never
Yeah,
happened.
Suns before it
Suns
was,
got
and then Suns didn't even get to three, man.
yeah, Jesus. Do you want to go over that since I was gone?
Yeah, so since your vacation, the Bucks ended up winning four straight. So they went down 0-2, right? And everybody like Suns in four, right? Um, and LeBron was even tweeting like, "Hey, one down, three to go for Chris Paul, his buddy, right? And then, two came and he's like, yeah, two more, right? And then boom, then Giannis woke up, bro. Um, it just looked like the Bucks were just a stronger team and more experienced. They've been in the playoffs quite a few times now. The Suns hadn't been in the playoffs in a while.
Hmm.
Um, and they just looked more experienced. They weren't scared when the big moments came, and they came back and won four straight, dude. Because they never panicked when they were down two. They're like, oh man, we just got to play our game, and it goes back to home court now, and this and that.
Yeah.
And Giannis just stayed with it. He stayed tough. He wasn't perfect, but he was pretty damn good. And let me tell you, he had some moments, dude. I mean, he had some absolute moments in those NBA finals, and he clearly deserved to win that MVP honors. And I like the guy. I really like the guy. I mean, he's a dude that I thought it was funny, but what's the name? Harden had took a jab at Giannis, right? And was like, "Oh well, I can't be 7 feet tall and just run and dunk a basketball. It takes skill, like to do what I do." And then Giannis said, like he put like when he won the title, he's all not bad for a dude that only runs and dunks a basketball or something. I forgot. I'm just paraphrasing, but like he took a jab back at Harden. Like all right, yeah, look what you're doing, look what I'm doing.
There you
But it
go.
takes skill to do what you did, right? So it was real cool, man. But he had, I don't know if you got a chance to see the finals, but man, he had to me what was the game or the series changing play moment and definitely the defining play of the NBA playoffs of those finals where he blocked alley-oop. I think it was from Chris Paul, maybe it was Booker. I think it was Booker. Booker went on like a pick and roll and then he alley-ooped it to Aton, I think is how you say his name,
Hmm.
Aton, which is the Sun center, and Giannis is rolling off of the pick, right? And he sees him throw it up, and he's like, "Oh man, I'm gonna get dunked on, but I gotta try and make a play." And so he jumps, not even really knowing where this dude's at, jumps and basically blocks it right there at the backboard as he's going into the rim,
Nice.
like to dunk it. And that shifted the whole like last minute of that stretch because not only did they not score and go up like three, they got the ball, they went in transition, and they ended up scoring. So it flipped it. It went from a 3 point deficit to like a 1 point lead. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then they put the final like nail in the coffin, which I believe someone got a steal, like CP3 kind of fell or something like that. And then Giannis was in like transition with them, and they threw him an alley oop dunk, and he caught it over like a dude or two and just put it away. I mean, so he had like those signature moments that you're looking for, to like win the MVP, to win the big games. And I mean, they were comparing the block Giannis did to like the block LeBron did in the finals, against the Warriors a few years ago, where he pinned it against the backboard.
Hmm.
Like it was that impactful of a play.
Oh
I
wow.
personally still think LeBron's was a little bit better. I
Hmm.
think Giannis's was a little harder, but the only reason in terms of impact, I mean, they both have their moment. They both changed that series around. The only difference, I believe, LeBron's was in Game 7, and Giannis's was in Game 6, I
Okay.
think. But man, I love this because it wasn't a super team or a big market that I wanted. I was a homegrown player that never left or asked for a trade, but just kept pushing forward to win it all. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like the two previous years, this dude won like I believe he won back-to-back MVPs, and he was like MVP and Player of the Year, right?
Hmm.
And then I think this year, who they give the MVP to this year? I drawing blank. Was
I
that this year that he got it?
Giannis.
Yeah.
I want to say it was last year you got it.
Who got the MVP this year?
Uh,
Kind of drawing a blank.
fuck if I know.
Anyways, I feel like he got all the awards, but he wasn't getting any of the recognition. Um, uh, any of the recognition. Um, before, right? Because it kept getting booted in the first round. Oh, I know who it is. It was the Joker. It was what's his name? Nikola Jokic
Oh, that's right.
from the Nuggets. So he won it. So sure enough, yeah. So the past 2 years, Giannis kind of won like all the accolades, right? Like, oh man, he's so great, he's so good, this and this and that, right?
Yeah.
And what did it get him? It didn't get him any like real hardware, the NBA title, right? He didn't even make it to the finals, dude. I believe one of the years he got booted in the second round, and the other year, you know what? I don't even think he made it to the Eastern Conference Finals the previous 2 years. So then this year, obviously, he didn't win any of the big hardware. You know, he wasn't Defensive Player of the Year. He wasn't the MVP.
Mm-hmm.
And boom, he makes his run and goes into the whole thing. And you know, he had a tough run, man. It's not like he had easy games. You know, I believe they had to go through the 76ers. I'd have to see like their run into the playoffs, man. But that was pretty impressive what they did. You know.
Yeah.
And again, it was not a super team. It was not him crying, say, "Hey, trade me, do this, do that." You know, like, man, dude, yeah, nothing but respect for that. You know, nothing but
Absolutely.
respect.
You ought to always respect the guy who he wins the hardware, and he's not on that big flashy team, but at the same time he's not complaining about it. You know, he's
Right.
like, "Fuck it, dude! Like I'm gonna win with what we got," and they absolutely did that this year. I
Yep.
mean, he's won. What did he get here? I'm looking at his awards and honors. He won the Finals MVP.
Hmm.
He's won the MVP 2 years in a row, 19 and 20. And
Yep.
then Defensive Player of the Year in 2020,
Hmm.
five-time NBA All-Star,
Yep.
All-Star Game MVP this last year, Most
Hmm.
Improved Player 2017,
Yep.
five-time All-NBA selection,
Yep.
four-time All-Defensive selection, Rookie of the
Hmm.
Year, second team, and then European Player of the Year in 2018. So before
Yeah.
so it's just
He's a stud.
he's got all that stuff, man, and he never put it away, but he stuck with his team, and they were scrappy as hell. And sure, everybody thought they were down when they were down 2-0. They were like, "Ah, that's it. Suns are gonna take it." And he helped lead his team to a four game route of the Suns on the back end, that backhand sweep as we like to call it, and they won. So congratulations to, I don't even want to try and pronounce his last name, but Giannis.
Mhm.
And the Milwaukee Bucks. Sorry I wasn't around to be able to see it and talk about it last week, but it did happen. And sorry, Joshua. The Bucks done took it.
Yep. Bucks and 6.
Bucks and 6. Let's
And
see.
you know what's cool is
What's up?
did you see Giannis? He put up a 50 spot in the championship game, right, in the clincher.
Uh-huh.
And and afterwards, the next day, because he hadn't slept or whatever, he went and ordered to Chick-fil-A, and he says, "Hey, I want to order 50-piece nuggets." He's not a 40, a 50.
They'd be like, "Sir, we don't. I want 50.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Give
He
me
even
two."
asked the girl like, "Hey, I have like 200,000 people on social media here. Is it okay if I put you on camera?" And she's like, "What? What? Wait," because she didn't know who he was.
Yeah,
That was pretty crazy.
that's pretty dope. All right, man. Let's fucking jump into the NFL. All right, the Colts'
Mhm.
number one play caller Carson Wentz had two amazing days on the field in training camp before suffering another injury. It was a foot injury this time. The injury they're saying involves a bone and ligament in his foot, and the Colts were hoping for better news, but now are bracing for possible surgery. Wentz has either missed games or has had a season ended by injury in all but 1 year since his senior year at North Dakota State. The Colts are going to had to lean hard on backup quarterback Jacob Eason, but I just realized right now as we were getting ready to do the show, the Colts have just signed Brett Hundley, former Packer and Cardinal backup quarterback, to be their number one guy. So they're not even going to go with Jacob Eason. They're going to go with the Brett Hundley, former Packer, former Cardinal backup quarterback.
Yeah, like Bruin, baby.
There you go. So, hey, this could be the thing that Brett Hundley needs to kind of shine. So we'll have to wait and see. The Colts, like I was saying, though, if it wasn't bad enough, the Colts also lost their starting center, Ryan Kelly, due to a hyperextended left elbow. Obviously, he'll only be out a couple weeks, but the absence of a two-time Pro Bowl snapper when the organization is in upheaval because of the quarterback situation makes things even that much worse. So the Colts are going to be coming in. I mean, like they said, the center will be back in a couple weeks. Just it's a hyperextended elbow. He should be okay. There shouldn't be any irreparable damage to any ligaments or elbow or anything like that. So that's a good thing. But there is going to be a kind of a mad dash to trying to get these guys, Brett Hundley, or if they go to Jacob Eason, to get these guys up and running with the number one squad. Do you think the Colts, realistically, especially with what just happened, do you think that they have a realistic chance of getting out there and doing something positive
I mean, they're going to be more of a running team now. I mean, they're already a running heavy team. But I mean, damn, looks like even more now,
Yeah.
So, but my understanding, I had read somewhere that they're still expected to take that division. I believe it's a weaker division, isn't it?
This was at the NFC, no, the AFC South.
Sure.
Sure. Let's see here. Let's see who's in the AFC South. The AFC South. We got the Colts, the Titans. Who else we got here? Teams. Oh yeah, we got the Colts, the Texans, the Jaguars, and the Titans. Those are the four.
So the Titans. Okay.
I think the Titans have a better chance to get that.
Yeah.
I don't understand. I guess I understand. Houston. I don't understand. The NFL needs to restructure their freaking divisions, because how is it that Houston, the Texans, are in the AFC South, but Dallas is in the NFC East? It makes no sense. Although I do like that they're in the NFC East, because it's usually a weaker division. And they actually have a chance, but they like to blow it, so it is what it is.
Yep.
Speaking of the Cowboys, Dak Prescott left the field the other day early due to some shoulder soreness. Dak was not too concerned, saying, "I don't necessarily know if I warmed up properly before I made that certain long throw on one of those days. I wasn't as warm as I probably needed to be when I threw it." The Cowboys are taking the later than sooner mindset when it comes to how quickly they will have Dak back on the field. With the Hall of Fame game next week, it looks like the boys will be looking to either Cooper Rush, who has shown flashes, I'm not saying he is, flashes of a QB1, or Ben DiNucci. I know the compadre over here was writing some stuff about how Cowboys fans think he's a QB1. I didn't say he was. I said he had flashes, which means like one here and one there. The other 72 were not, but he had flashes of QB1. So we'll have to wait and see. Dak did come out today, and he was in practice. He was on the field, but he wasn't throwing. He said the shoulder's just sore. There's not going to need anything other than just a little bit of rest. So good thing, bad thing, and maybe just warm up a little bit more, huh, Dak?
Yeah, man. Good old Mr. Glass coming back. He's starting to get a reputation here. Has he been hanging out with Carson Wentz or what?
Oh my God, Carson Wentz can't stay healthy. I'm sorry.
Right?
But Dak, I'm hoping Dak is just a little bit of soreness, not doing what throwing as much. Just warm up a little bit better. Stretch it out, get the little massage gun, and you're good to go.
I mean, it's not like you've been playing football your whole life, right? You know how to properly warm up.
Right. Come on, Dak. Dak.
Yeah. Yeah, man. So I don't know. I kind of feel bad for you with the backup quarterbacks. I've never heard of them. So Cooper Rush.
I mean, I heard.
Is he related to the receiver?
What happened?
Is he related to that receiver? What's the name? Cooper Kupp?
No. Not even the same last name, bro. Come on. But he played in a couple of the preseason games, and he looked good in spurts. But then last year, when Dak went down, a lot of people thought Cooper was going to be the one to take over, and it was not the case. And obviously, happened what happened last season, and it is what it is. So we'll have to wait and see. I doubt that it's going to be a big thing, but maybe Dak doesn't play.
You doubt or you hope? There's a difference.
I hope he doesn't play more than maybe the first series of the Hall of Fame game, which is
I hope he don't play at all.
Saturday, I believe it is.
I hope he doesn't.
I hope he just hands the ball 4 times. Call it a day.
Yeah. David Pollock, get out of the way.
There you go. That way he doesn't do anything, or just a little dump off. You're good to go. Anywho, with the Olympics on the way, Tyreek Hill was asked about challenging Usain Bolt to a 40-yard dash, saying he's old, he's washed up, and he can't see me in 40 yards. I don't know what this is. I mean, he's had the I don't know, the stigma of calling people out who think they're fast and then racing them 40 yards and then completely wiping the floor with them. He did it with T.O., Ocho Cinco, a couple other players right now. Do you think Usain Bolt, if they ran, do you think he's washed up and he can't keep up with him, or do you think it actually
I
happened?
mean, he's older now. Yeah, I don't think he beats Tyreek anymore. Tyreek's in his prime right now.
This is true. He's a fast
You know,
guy.
the one I really want to see is DK Metcalf. I'd
Him and
love to see
Tyreek.
those two. Yeah, those two go at it. I just think Tyreek would have the edge just because he's smaller, like he's lower, less wind.
Less wind resistance. It's all
Yeah,
about wind resistance here, guys. That's what it is.
yeah. So I mean, that's just what I think.
I
But
mean, I'd still watch it. I mean, if they had it they had a couple times like on either YouTube or they had it on Instagram, like a quick video. It's a 40-yard dash, guys. It's like 4 seconds long. Okay, so it's not going to be a
yeah,
very long video. But it'd be cool to watch and see what happens. But who knows and what we'll see if it ever happens. So.
I agree.
What else we got going on here? Oh, with the Hall of Fame game I was talking about a little bit ago,
Hmm.
around the corner, which is next week. Hall of Fame inductee Troy Polamalu has tested positive for COVID-19. Coming out on social media saying, "Fam, I recently tested positive for COVID-19. Thank God I feel great and the family are well. I'm working with the Hall of Fame to ensure we abide by all protocols to make it to Canton in time for all of the festivities." Um, do you think? Because there's been a lot of stuff going on with COVID, and I'm gonna skip over the little thing with Rogers. We'll get to him in a second, but the NFL COVID guidelines, players have been coming out recently and saying they may not play anymore if it's mandated that they have to get the vaccine. Right? Two teams making non-vaccinated players wearing yellow wristbands to identify them, and then who is it? DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah,
He's the one that tweeted, "I never thought I would say this, but being put in a position to hurt my team because I don't want to partake in a vaccine is making me question my future in the NFL." I do believe they have to be at least 85% vaccinated per team to be able
which
to compete. I believe it's
I
80.
did not know that.
It is.
Wow. See, I don't know some of those details.
Yeah, so because I know that just because it was brought up to Jerry Jones and they're like
Hmm.
at 83.2%, and he's like, "Oh,
Okay.
don't worry, we're gonna be fine by the time the we kick off. We'll have the right amount of people that are vaccinated and taken care of because we're looking at the future of what we have to do to win." So,
Yeah.
with that being said, um, I mean, what do you think is going to happen, man? Because it's not just DeAndre Hopkins, but I think he's the bigger one that's come out and said, "Hey, man, like fuck, I don't know if I want to play anymore, just because I
Well,
don't
that
want
was a
to."
tweet and delete. See, you
Yeah.
missed the first part on there. It literally says tweet and
Well,
delete.
I know but
So
he said it.
no, he didn't. He tweeted it
He
and
tweeted it.
deleted
Okay,
it.
but still, when you put it on the internet, it's there forever.
Oh yeah, but I didn't hear anybody asking him questions about it.
They've people have questioned what he said. They haven't questioned him.
Like I said,
But
I haven't heard anybody
so
ask him questions about
how
it.
do you feel about the situation with the COVID vaccine?
So, okay, so here's my thing. So, one, I don't understand why he's saying it's making him hurt his team, other than the 85% that I did not know about till you said right now, right?
Hmm.
How is it hurting his team? Like I'm seriously like I was a part of
Maybe
two group chats and I said I
him
don't
not being on
understand how
the
this hurts his team.
him not being on the field, maybe.
It says being put in a position to hurt my team because I don't want to partake in the vaccine.
Which is basically
It's
him not
making
being
me
on the
quit.
field because he wouldn't be on the field.
Why? If you're at 85%, that means 15%. So he could be part of the 15 that doesn't take it. Why
Yeah,
wouldn't he will be on the field?
which
I'm
I don't
confused by
understand.
that. And I've asked two group chats that I was in that were like making a big deal about it. And I said, how does it hurt your team? And this is an honest question. Like, other than the 85% you could tell me right now, I'm like, okay, if they're really close, and he's like, man, well, I don't want to take it, but we need to hit the 85%. Okay, that makes sense. Other than that, I don't understand. Another thing I said in there is, well, you don't want to take it. and you're threatening to not play, then retire. Go for it. Don't
Yeah.
play. Like it's a job. You have a choice. You get to decide what career path you go. If you don't like it, that's cool. Like I don't think it's cool that they're making them take the vaccine. I don't think it's cool that they're branding them basically by wearing wristbands. It's almost like shaming them, don't you think?
A little bit.
It's like shaming them by like wearing the wristbands. Again, it's only two teams, but I heard it's just like a test run
Uh
with those
huh.
two teams. They're finding players that aren't taking the vaccine. Who was it? Andy Reid, right? Was he the one that first started it, or he was just enforcing the fine that
Yeah.
the NFL imposed? And again, it's one of those like, why I don't think it's cool the way they're making them.
Hmm.
You have a choice. This is a job, This is a job. You get paid very well to do that job
Very
if you
well.
want to. If you don't, kick rocks, Like go for it, kick rocks. That I don't ever feel bad for millionaires or complaining about petty shit.
Yeah.
Like I don't. Now, I don't think it's cool the way they're doing the yellow wristbands and stuff like that. But again, you
Yeah.
gotta make your choices. There's hard choices no matter what.
Yeah.
There's hard
So
choices.
I just pulled up the protocol modifications for vaccinated
Uh-huh.
individuals in the NFL. So for
Hmm.
fully vaccinated players or personnel, there's no daily testing required. Masks
Okay.
are not required at club facilities or during team travel. No physical contact. No physical distancing required in club facility with other vaccinated individuals. No quarantine required after high risk exposure to COVID. No travel restrictions. No capacity limits in weight room when all are fully vaccinated. They may eat in the cafeteria with other fully vaccinated individuals. No restrictions on social media marketing sponsorship opportunities. So anything that comes down the pipe for them, they can go ahead and do it. And they may use the sauna/steam room anytime they want. May interact with vaccinated family friends during team travel. Now, on the flip side, for not fully vaccinated players, and that means they haven't gotten both, so they could have one, but not both of the shots yet. If you do the two-shot one,
Right.
um, testing required every day for a non-vaccinated player. Masks are required at club facility and during travel at all times. Must remain physically distanced from all others in club facilities. Must quarantine after high risk exposure to COVID. Travel restrictions are in effect. 15 player limit in a weight room if somebody's not fully vaccinated. Players must be physically distanced in a meal room and may not eat with teammates. Staffers must grab and go, no meals in the cafeteria. No social media marketing sponsorship activities are permitted if you're not fully vaccinated. And they may not use the sauna or the steam room if they're not vaccinated or fully vaccinated. And they may not leave the team hotel to eat in restaurants. May not interact with anyone outside of the team traveling party during team travel. So they're putting like heavy
And that's
restrictions on dudes that
yeah.
are,
But they're just trying to ensure that they don't catch it.
yeah,
I mean, that's kind of the thing, right? Like that you don't catch it.
yeah,
I could see it. I don't have a problem with it. Like it's your job, your choice. You don't
yeah,
like it. Hey, there's a door. Go for it. Thanks for coming. Like, I mean, it's the truth.
yeah,
Uh, I don't want to have to wear a mask while teaching, to be honest. Like, if I had a choice, I prefer not to. I prefer I could sign a waiver and say, like, hey, I waive my right to,
if I get sick, anything
anything.
happens,
If I
yeah,
get sick, I get sick. I'm vaccinated, but if I get sick, I get sick. I'm waiving my right to wear a mask.
yeah,
But I have to wear a mask. So if I don't want to wear a mask and I don't want to get written up because that's what they told us, they're going to write us up if we're not wearing a mask and we get caught or whatever. Well, guess what? I'm probably losing my job. I'm probably not going to be able to work there.
yeah,
Well, there you go. They put I mean, don't get me wrong, theirs are pretty heavy, especially when you weigh those who can, those who are, and those who aren't in terms of vaccinated.
yeah,
Man, those are some heavy. I think they're just trying to like give them incentives. And they're not trying to give monetary incentives because here's the thing with giving monetary incentives. Some dudes make more money than others and they're like, it's cool. I don't need it. You know?
yeah.
Don't you think? Like with
Yeah,
that type of level?
you can't do that to people with such a drastic difference in pay, because
Right.
the eighth round defensive end that only plays half the time is probably making league minimum compared to DeAndre Hopkins, who's making $30 million in one season.
Right.
A $500,000 bump to say, hey, you went and got vaccinated. Here's an extra $500,000. The defensive end's gonna be like, fuck, I need that, dude. That's like
Right.
almost my paycheck, Where
Right.
DeAndre Hopkins could just be like, dude, whatever, bro. Like, I'll pay a fine, bye.
Yeah.
So I
That's
do,
why. That's
yeah.
why I think it's smart that they're just saying, "Look, we're not giving you money and blah blah blah." They are giving them a hit. That wasn't in there, huh? They didn't say what the fine was. I think wasn't it $15,000?
I didn't see what the fine was. Honestly, it's not
It
on
was
here.
like 15,000, which is to them
Oh
not a
no no
lot.
no no
So
no! Failure to follow the protocols could result in fines of up to $50,000 for the first
50K.
offense.
Okay,
Yeah,
50K first offense and
so it's only
scales
gonna
up
get
from
worse
there.
after that. Yeah,
Yeah, but see, like I said, for them, that's probably like $50 to us, where
Jesus.
it's like, it hurts, but it doesn't hurt.
Yeah, like oh
Um,
no, I lost $50.
They're like, damn it. Right. Yeah. Okay. Just get over it.
Guess I'm not buying that other car today.
Right. So, man, I like the way they have it laid out for them. They're just trying to give them incentives to do it. And I think they're going about it in terms of that the right way. Again, not big on the wristband things and stuff like that. But,
Yeah.
again, you have a choice, man. You got a choice. It's up to you. And again, there's 15% that don't have to do it, right? But
Yeah.
you got to follow all these other damn mandates.
Yeah, they're like, hey, if you don't want to, the team
And it's only during season, so like, hey, dude, you be you
afterwards
when you're off the clock, like when you're done with your season, you be you, knock yourself out.
Yeah.
But in season, you're under contract, man.
Yeah.
Like I said, I just don't feel bad for millionaires,
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things, man. You have the option to, if you don't want to do it, dude, then don't do it. Don't do the job, and you're done. You know what I mean? Just walk away. You don't have to put others at risk if you don't want to. You know what I mean? Like if that's really your thing, like whatever. Like I don't believe in it. Okay, cool. But the rules are set the way the rules are set. If you like
Right.
you said, if you don't want to wear the mask, you don't have to. But then you don't have a job.
Mhm. Right. Well,
Uh,
no, that's not true. You just
yeah.
have all these restrictions,
Yeah.
and I'm pretty sure they want their cake and eat it too, right? They're like, no, not only do we not want to, we don't care if we're part of the 15%, but we want everything they got. I bet
Yeah.
you that's what the problem is. It's not the not being vaccinated. It's everything else that they have all these restrictions that they want. They want the freedom that the people that have, and I'm saying not in life, I'm just saying obviously in the NFL, that the people in the NFL, the others have the freedom of being vaccinated. Like I guarantee you, that's what it is.
I'm with you. We'll just have to wait and
so-
see what happens at the start of the season or when the games
Yeah.
start happening.
Yeah.
Which ones are going to stop or which ones are going to get dropped or
Yeah.
who's going
And
to
one,
say.
and one of those group chats, they're very what do they call it, a red state, right? Group
Uh-huh.
chat that I'm part of.
Uh-huh.
And they said something like, man, if we get enough players to say no to this and this and that, I was like, bro, you're not gonna get enough players to not take the vax and be the opposite. I said, you think because Hopkins doesn't want to do that, the NFL is gonna cease to exist? Yeah, that's not how it's gonna work.
Well, right now, I believe overall, the overall NFL teams
Uh-huh.
and staff and players, I think they're at 91%.
Oh wow, see,
overall, which is great.
See?
You know what I mean?
Right.
But individual teams, not all of them have met that 85% threshold.
yeah. Right.
And I mean,
Right.
if you do meet 85%, people who are not, well then hey, that's cool. You can not do it. They're giving them the option, right? Like, hey, you don't
Yeah.
have to get vaccinated, bro. It's fine. But if you don't, then these are the rules you have to abide by. If you
Yeah.
do, then these are the rules you get to abide by. And
Yeah,
this-
because they don't want to be canceling games. They don't want they don't want breakouts to happen. They don't want. They basically don't want what's happening with baseball. Baseball has had all these games where, especially last year,
yeah,
where they had to just cancel a bunch of games.
yeah.
They don't want that.
And there
They
was a
want that.
couple games this season, not a lot. It was only a few that have happened this season. And towards the beginning, where something happened,
Right.
and everybody's kind of gotten on board with what they're supposed to do. And I think, yeah, dude, you're just
Yeah.
either get it or don't. Either get it and you're all good, or don't and just follow the rules. Plain and simple.
Yep.
All right, we'll jump off the soapbox there before the red states come after us. Final run for Rodgers and Devontae Adams, Artie?
I say yes.
I would
Rogers
agree
just
with you.
agreed to his 1 year contract that basically shut up and play type of thing.
Yeah.
And then you could do whatever you want. And then Devontae Adams is strongholding them now, and they're like, hey, and he should rightfully be, because I personally do think he has played like the top receiver the past couple years,
Yeah.
And he's saying, hey, I want to be the highest paid wide receiver in the game, like my contract does not meet what my production,
Yeah.
and that's why I've told you, that I believe that there should just be like guidelines for contracts, and if you hit these numbers this year, then that's what you're going to get. You're going to be the top receiver. You're going to get the top paid.
Incentive-based contracts.
No, not incentive based. Benchmark based.
Performance-based.
Yeah, benchmark based.
Okay.
Yeah, it is performance, but what I'm saying like is the NFL should have it like, all right, look, whoever gets these numbers is the top receiver, and he gets paid like the top receiver.
Yeah.
They're kind of like benchmarks. Whoever hits those, that you deserve to be that, whether your contract states or not.
Oh, like
I really
NFLPA
think like,
kind of thing.
yeah, I really think it should be like I don't know, like what the word's looking for here. They're like boosters kick in or something, like
Okay.
where it's like, does that
Kind
make
of like
sense?
when you win. Kind of like when you win the MVP, or when you go to the Pro Bowl, you get that extra little bonus.
Yeah.
That gets kicked in. I gotcha.
Right, something like that. Because I especially in the NFL, man, the windows of careers are so small in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
They're very short compared. They're not like Pujols, who plays like 30 years on 1 foot or whatever. Like
Yeah.
it's not like that. It's not like that. So yeah, so I think this is it, man. I think he sails off into the sunset after that. I think Adams probably. I don't know if he's gonna get paid, dude. I don't know if he's gonna get paid, because they're gonna have to find a way to tell him like, look, we're gonna pay you, but Rodgers ain't gonna be here, and we don't want to hear you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't think. Honestly, I don't think Adams stays. I think he goes somewhere else. He may not get the money he wants, but
Mhm.
he's not going to be stuck, in a rebuild team kind of thing.
Right. I don't know.
I
But
honestly
think he was
don't-
there last year. I'm just curious
No,
to see how it works with them. But he's not a free agent at the end of the year, is he?
I thought he was.
Yeah. I don't know. And then and it's crazy because in the NFL they have all that franchise tag and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's why, like in baseball, they don't have the franchise tag. The NBA, they don't have franchise tags. They have restricted and unrestricted free agents, and then they have like the match contracts and stuff like that.
Yeah, I know
That's
that.
why I just think it's
I know
kind of
that
weird.
they've been trying to get rid of the NFLPA has been trying to get rid of the whole franchise tag
Yeah.
because it kind of handcuffs players for a
Yep.
couple years. I mean,
Mhm.
it could work to their advantage to some point to get more
Yes.
money, but at the same time, it could hurt them
You get
because
hurt,
they get
yeah.
hurt. Yeah, Stu.
Yep.
Case in point, Dak Prescott.
Yeah. Mm,
But the Cowboys
Well,
came in
you can't
and paid
pay-
him anyways.
Yeah. Paying him for what? For 30 TDs max career high?
Something like that.
Nah. He robbed
I
them.
don't want to hear your shit, man, because you're a big Dak proponent. I don't want anybody to feel
I think
differently.
he's a good player. I think he just robbed them.
Oh, I
He robbed them.
I think it's.
But
they
I think
paid
it's
him a
also
little
partial back pay too, though. Let me tell you,
Yeah.
because he was on a very big friendly team discount,
Oh,
so
yeah.
it's almost like back pay. You know,
Yeah, I'll
if you
take
split the numbers in half, he got paid for what he did, and then he's getting paid for
what he's hoping.
what he's gonna do. Hopefully he's gonna do.
Yeah.
Or-
Speaking
expected
of
to-
quarterbacks, you like how I
Mhm.
did that? The Texans are
Yeah.
finally ready to trade Watson out of there. But you think anybody's going to be out there ready to take him?
I don't see why the Cowboys don't go after him. Right there. Probably don't even have to really hire a moving van or anything. He could probably commute from where he lives. Nah, seriously, I don't think obviously the Cowboys take him. Although he'd fit in and be a hell of a backup for
That'd be one
Mr.
crazy
Brittle.
backup. I would have said the Colts until I saw them sign what's his name. But Even then,
Even that, I still do it.
there
Why
you go.
not? Why not? Um, it's just really late, no?
I think so. I think at this point they should have done this, months ago. When all that shit
Yeah,
was going down, they should have been like, well, all right, here you go.
right. So yeah, man. I don't know. So yeah, I think it should have been done. I don't know. Uh, so I don't know. I don't know. I don't know, dude. I just think it's kind of late.
I,
I just
I,
think it's
I
kind of
I
late.
don't think he's going to be traded anywhere. I don't think anybody, unless somebody has a very major um, injury to a quarterback, like a huge one. Um, like I said, I was going to say the Colts, but then they picked up this other guy. I mean, they still would probably need somebody a little bit more seasoned to go in there and play. But
Hmm.
if they're rebuilding anyways, I mean, why not go with the younger guy and be good there? But I honestly don't see anybody else who didn't pick up a quarterback during the draft this last season who needed one that are going to need another one. So plus
Yeah,
the
I don't
press,
know.
plus the press and all the other stuff that goes along with Watson right now.
Right.
You never really know. I don't. I think the Texans waited too long before the draft. Maybe right
Yeah,
after the draft,
I see that was
maybe.
at his
But
highest.
that was it. Like I don't think he's going anywhere at this point. And you put something in about Bruce Young or Bryce Young. Why don't you go ahead and tell us about that one?
Yeah. So where is it at here? Projected top recruit for college football will, I forgot his name. I saw him somewhere though. That's why I didn't put his name in here.
Okay.
Is expected to forego his senior year because of the new NIL endorsement rules that will allow him to make nearly $1 million, right? Because of
Mm-hmm.
endorsements and stuff like that. Um, So, and one example is Bryce Young, the quarterback for Alabama. That dude, Nick Saban, says that he's already approaching the $1 million marker right now. So,
Mm-hmm.
what I have is, do you think this is going to change a lot of things? You know, a lot of dudes are just going to forego their senior year and say, you know what, I'm just going to cash in for endorsements instead.
I don't know, man.
Because those rules are not in place at the high school level. So, you have to
Right.
give up your senior year of high school. And now, obviously, you could just maybe because I don't know if it was him, but I think it was him, the kid that I'm thinking about. But I know I saw somewhere else. I could be wrong, but the kid that I saw or him is that they're enrolling early at Ohio State so that they could take advantage of these endorsement deals.
Oh,
Does that make
really?
sense?
Yeah.
Remember how I told you there's gonna be loopholes.
Yeah.
So if you're a top recruit and your senior year and you already got something in line, why not just give up your senior year and make $500,000, whatever you could get, right? Like
Yeah.
if you're going to a big college, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Some people are gonna like, there's gonna be companies that are like, man, we could get this dude cheap right now before he's even there, and I'd rather bank and offer him 100K and that for like 3 years because if he is a starting quarterback in 2 years from now, we getting him for cheap. You know what I'm saying? You're just kind
Yeah.
of rolling the dice. What do you think about that
I,
stuff? The loopholes.
man,
I
it's
threw
gonna
that's the reason I threw it out there, you know?
it's gonna be interesting to see how companies approach high school kids going into college. I think that's gonna be the bigger question as to how things are gonna run with them because I think all the already established guys, people are gonna shell out some fucking some big greenbacks for that. But like you were talking about the high schoolers, juniors that are gonna forego their senior year to go right into college, that who are superstars already. If somebody dangles $100,000, $200,000 right in front of them, man, that could be life changing for them at that moment, and then they get kind of caught in that for the next few years until they get drafted and whatnot. So it'll be interesting to see how things kind of go down with that, man. I didn't even think about that. I was thinking more about because I know with this they were talking about players and all these kind of people were talking about give what's his name back his Heisman and
Oh, Reggie
Reggie
Bush.
Bush
Yeah,
back
but
his
that dude
Heisman.
broke the rules. Those
Yeah,
were the rules when they happened, you know? So
exactly. Those
like
were the
I
rules.
I get it, but Nah, man, you broke those were the rules. They're not gonna go back because
Yeah.
there's new rules and say, oh, okay, well, just because they're new now, even though you broke them back then you're forgiven. Nah,
My
you
thing
make you make
is
your millions.
my thing is now is he now admitting that yeah I did get that money then, but because
Basically, well, I don't
he
know. He
hasn't come
hasn't
out and
said that.
said it, but
Again,
like
it's like Hopkins.
yeah.
You want your cake and eat it too. You know what I'm saying?
You can't do it. I
Like,
mean,
yeah,
he did
that's not how
run.
it works.
He do those things. He did make those records and stuff like that. It's just you fucked up, bro. You did something you weren't supposed to do, so you're not getting that back.
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
Simple as that, right?
Yeah, I
Um,
totally agree.
let's just jump into the Olympics here really quick. I know you haven't really been following everything going on. I haven't really been following everything going on.
Right.
However, one of the biggest stories coming out of the Olympics is Simone Biles,
Yes.
who was slated to take gold in basically all of her gymnastic competitions, pulled out of all but two of her events as of right now, stating that she wasn't mentally ready to compete. Many athletes and fans have rallied around her decision, but as always, there were a great number of people that bashed her for giving up, quote unquote, instead of competing. One of those who came out and talking about her pulling out of the competitions was former 2008 Olympic freestyle wrestling gold medalist and former, I want to say, bantamweight, middleweight UFC champion, Henry Cejudo or Cejudo. He said, "There's two
Carajudo.
things." Huh?
Carajudo.
Ándale. There's two things that pressure can do. Pressure can either break or it can make diamonds. Pressure can either bust pipes or it can create and make diamonds. You choose what to do for it or what to do with it. Remember that. Also stating, I believe that Simone Biles pulling out of this thing is like, I think she needs a reality check or she needs to check herself. I think there's time. There's time for a little bit of tough love. And if she was my sister, this is exactly what I would do. So I would never say something that I wouldn't do to my personal family or anything like that, or even for myself, because I do believe sometimes we do need a kick in the ass. Um, being a coach, you Artie, being a former JUCO collegiate athlete, how do you feel about her saying it's because she wasn't in the right mental state that she wasn't going to compete, that she kind of pulled out? How do you feel about that?
It's a double-edged sword. You know what I'm saying? Like some people are just mentally tired. Mental fatigue is real. You know what I'm saying? Like I really believe that mental fatigue is real. Now you've already gone this far. Why are you at the finish line and all of a sudden saying, you know what? I'm just not really digging it and I need a break. It took you all this long to figure that out
Mm-hmm.
right at the end, especially where I believe the first event she pulled out of was where the team it was a team event, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And it was the first time that the team actually got silver in a while. So to me that adds a little more backlash to it. So like the individual ones, okay, I get it. If you want to like give up on yourself or quit or step back on yourself, then that's for it. But man, the team ones, that's a hard one.
Yeah.
That's the hard one. So as a coach, I would be okay with the individual ones, right? I'd be like, all right, well, I mean that's your choice. You're the one that's not gonna get the glory. You worked all this hard and you're willing to just be like, all right, cool. Well then it's just not for me. But again, of course, she's won before in the past, so that's why it's easier to make these decisions, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because if it was her very first time, you think she would have pulled out?
I don't think so.
Probably not, right?
Yeah.
But the team one is probably the one that I'd be honored. Like he said, I'd be like, look, really, like, there's other people depending on you and this and that. And now I saw somewhere someone, I don't even remember what it was, that said something like, her inspiration or her continuing to care on the sidelines helped the US team earn that silver. Like they don't win it without her like moral support on the side. I'm like, man, you know what? The whole country's cheering for you, you know? Like
Yeah.
you, I don't think one person cheering on the sideline is really gonna set them apart like that. I mean, I could be wrong or whatever, but to me, it's just two different things, like the individual and the group one. And I would have pushed more for the group one and the individual, like, all right, well, you're on your own. but a lot of it has to do with her already having won previous gold medals. You know what I'm saying? Like, and how I just asked you, like, if this was her first time, you think she would have quit? No. You think
Mm-hmm.
she would have stepped back or whatever, mental break? No. So it's a couple different factors. And again, I do believe in mental fatigue, mental health awareness. Like, I really do believe that. But I also feel like more and more of this is coming into play because of how society is, where it's like we're just finding more reasons or for making these things acceptable, meaning like, oh, it's okay. Like there's a reason for why we're choosing not to go forward or to do whatever it is you want. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but again, you still have the choice. Still have your choice, but with it comes criticism. Like it's up to you. With it comes criticism,
Especially, I think,
and
because she's in the limelight.
yeah, the timing of it is really what the issue is.
Mm-hmm.
The timing of it's just the worst part,
She
I would say.
she basically took somebody else's spot. If she wasn't going to
Yeah,
compete, then step out and let somebody else take your spot, because there are probably hundreds, if not thousands, of athletes, gymnasts who would love to have the opportunity to go in there and compete for a gold medal. So I get it. You're right. There is mental fatigue. There is, they call it the fog of war. There's a lot of things that are out there that realistically can impede somebody's whatever they're doing. Right? It doesn't matter what it is, athletically, competition, whatever. It just, you get that mental fatigue, and sometimes you got to shut it down. And I get that, but I'm with you there. For the individual things you want to step aside, all right, cool. Like that's on you. It's an individual situation. But for the team challenge, that first one they had, knock that out. Be there for your team, because you're not just letting your team down. I mean, you're not just pulling out for yourself, but now you're letting your team down. Is what I meant to say.
right.
But yeah, no, I mean, I think you and I both grew up in a time where it's a team game. It doesn't matter how good or bad you're doing. You're there for the team. Get out there and do your best, and try and help your team win. If it's an individual thing, all right, cool. You don't want to play, well, then no play. It's fine.
Right.
Um, I do think to a certain extent, Henry Cohedo, he had, I think I would tell her, like, hey, man, you got to get your ass in there and handle business, at least for the team. If it's just you, hey, if you don't think you can handle it right now, that and it's understandable. Shit happens. In any aspect of life, you need a mental break. You need a mental break. You know what I mean? Before
Right.
you hurt yourself or somebody else, that's
Right,
understandable.
exactly. Yeah, because you need to focus, which I think that's why I don't have a problem with the individual one because her backup stepped in and won the gold medal, and
Yeah.
that was like a big deal because she was the first like Asian American
hmm
to like ever win a gold medal or something like that. I forgot,
I
the
think
the captions that they put
in
under
that,
there.
yeah, I think it was
Oh, in that event,
in
right?
that event, yeah.
Yeah, that to ever win it, and like that girl genuinely looked happy, and that's an event that she normally competes in, I believe. I mean, I could be
Yeah,
wrong,
no, that's her,
but
one of her
it
big events.
created an opportunity for someone else, which is why I'm okay with individual ones. But the team one is like, man, they picked you because you are their best opportunity to win this team event. Granted, by you not doing it, someone else, another individual gets to slide in there and have that opportunity. But again, they chose you to be in the team event because they think that you provided the team the best opportunity to win.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
So, yeah.
All right.
But I'm okay with it. Either way, it's her choice,
Yeah.
and you're the one
Everybody.
that's going to deal with the
eh,
backlash.
exactly. All right, guys. What are your guys' opinions? Let us know. We're gonna take a quick commercial break, and then we're gonna come back and talk about MLB and what has happened at the All Star, or not the All Star break, the trade deadline. So we'll be
Mhm.
right back, guys. Hang out for 2 seconds, or however long the commercials are, and we'll be right back. And we're back from commercial break. Hopefully, you guys got some decent commercials this time. I've heard some of the commercials, and I'm like, wow, they really gave us that. But hopefully, you guys enjoyed the
Mhm.
commercials. So we're back now, second half of the show. Let's talk about some MLB, baby. First things first, before we get into the trade deadline and everything, all the biggest winners and losers of the deadline, the MLB Hall of Fame committee unanimously declined Curt Schilling's request to be dropped from the ballot, meaning that he will be on the ballot one last time, this being his final year of eligibility. This last season, this last season's votes, I should say, Schilling had 71.1% of the 75% needed to get into the Hall of Fame. Schilling famously came out and requested to be taken off the ballot and to leave his induction in the hands of the Veterans Committee, who he said opinions are the only ones that matter and who are in a position to actually judge a player. So now with that, I doubt he's going to get in for sure. He's not going to get that other 4.9% that he needs to get that 75% to get in. But do you think that kind of puts pressure on the Veterans Committee as far as...
What I want to know is, do you think his percentage goes still up or down? Because traditionally their percentages go up, they don't go down.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I think
So now it becomes like over under 71%.
It might go. I think after doing what he did, I think it stays where it's at or it goes down.
I think it's gonna be the under. I think it's gonna be the under because it'd be like, well, this dude don't want it, so, and he just basically slapped us in the face. Why would anybody? Why would anybody want to waste a vote on him? You know?
Yeah.
And if there's other dudes, and I haven't seen who else is on the list, or like, look, I can only vote for some. I don't know if they could vote for everybody if they want, you know. But
yeah,
I don't know. They got so many votes, and I'm not going to use it on this dude if he don't care to be there. Or he doesn't respect my vote, you know.
Here's my question for you then. Do you think it's a single digit drop, or do you think it's a double digit drop in percentage?
I think it's single digit. Yeah, I don't think it's double.
Okay, so you think he'll be somewhere in the mid 60s then?
Yeah.
Okay. Some people are still going to vote for him, but other people are going to be like, well, fuck you.
Yeah, those tweeners are for sure going to be like, all right, well, yeah, I don't think his percentage goes up this year. I think he's going to be one of the first dudes whose percentage goes down.
Well, sometimes it's better to not say something like that. Yeah. So,
yeah, because he was so close, you know? Like, why would you say anything?
Do you think
you're going to get the last 4% by saying that?
Do you think he gets in through the Veterans Committee? Even after he just kind of put them on notice, like, yo,
maybe not right away. Maybe not right away.
Gotcha.
Once it cools down a little bit, you know.
But you think he gets in through the Veterans Committee?
I think he deserves to be in there. Yeah, man. He was a damn elite. He was an elite pitcher, and he has the plateaus that you need, or the benchmarks that you need, I think, to be in there. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, if they let some of these other dudes in, yeah, I believe he's there, you know?
Okay.
He's there.
All right, let's get into the biggest winners and losers of the 2021 trade deadline that just passed yesterday. The Dodgers were huge winners on this one, dude. I hate you so much. But the Dodgers did acquire...
They're from L.A.
Yeah. Dodgers did acquire pitchers Max Scherzer and Danny Duffy. And they also snagged shortstop Trey Turner from the Nationals for 4 players. How do you feel about the Dodgers reloading there? I know, obviously, because the situation with Bauer is unknown what's going to happen with him. They had to pick up, a starting pitcher, and Max Scherzer was one of the big boys to be on there. And then they got Danny Duffy as well.
So Danny Duffy is a cool dude, man. I've been seeing some stuff about him, and he's a diehard Lakers fan too. He has like Kobe Bryant's retired numbers tattooed on like his right arm or left arm, in Roman numerals, but still he has his numbers tattooed on there. So he's a diehard. I don't know if he's an LA kid or not. Based on what I was hearing, I think he's an LA dude. Okay. Anyways, the only thing that sucks about that, he's on the IL, so I don't know when he comes back. Trey Turner is another little bit of an iffy thing too, because Trey Turner was a big surprise to me. I knew the Dodgers were going after Max, and then once the Nationals said that they were not going to extend Trey Turner long term, I was like, "Oh damn, this dude's going to get traded too, right?"
Yeah.
Because they had come out and said everybody but Soto was on the table, right? And Trey Turner was not getting extended, right? So I was like, "Oh damn, this dude might get traded." Now I didn't think it'd be a damn package deal with Max Scherzer, because Trey still got this year and another year under his belt. which is
Mm-hmm.
why the Dodgers had to give up two big prospects. They gave up their two biggest prospects, Josiah Gray, a starting pitcher, and Keibert Ruiz, a switch hitting catcher, who to me reminds me a lot of like a Carlos Santana,
Uh-huh.
who became an all star at the major league level and a very serviceable professional hitter. He's still playing with Kansas City right now,
Yeah.
I think. And he's a good player, man. So I think that's honestly, I think that's what Keibert Ruiz is going to be. He's going to be just like Santana, where we're like, man, we're giving up a damn good player, and dude's going to probably maybe be an all star or has at least the potential to be it.
Mm-hmm.
Josiah, I don't know. I hear good stuff about him, but he made his major league debut, I think it was last week with the Dodgers, and I mean, he was all right, and he hasn't been like lights out kind of dominant. And the Dodgers, in some ways, are similar to the Lakers, where they want to win now. They see their window as, hey, this is our window to win a title, and we're
Yeah.
gonna go for it.
Yeah.
I love the Trey Turner pickup. I love it because the Dodgers were not able to negotiate a deal with for Corey Seager before the year,
Uh-huh.
and I thought it would have been a great time when he was hurt to try to negotiate a deal. But that didn't obviously happen, and he's a free agent through the year. So then they just basically tell Corey Seager, like, hey, man, you want to stay or not? You know?
Yeah.
If not, we got somebody else and lined up this dude, and we could sign his ass to an extension. And you ask me, man, I mean, I love homegrown players, right? So
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Seager. But I'll take Trey Turner, dude. I think Trey's just a better player. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I just think he's a better player. So Max, I don't know if Max has got another year under his contract or not. I didn't see
I think
that.
this is his last year.
This is it, right?
Yeah.
So, but Max is still like, dude,
If if
we're
they
dropping like flies with our rotation,
if they make a really good run and win it, I think they could easily extend Max Scherzer or give him a contract to be there for another couple of years.
Yeah, I got to see. He's got to get won over by the crowd and the stadium, and like
Yeah.
the Dodger love for him to stay. So we'll
Danny
see.
Duffy, Danny Duffy, we were talking about. He's from Joleta, California, just north of what that's called, Santa Barbara.
Oh, so he is a
So
California
he's
kid
a
then,
he's a
huh?
SoCal kid. So yeah, no, that's
Okay.
why So he's super. I'm good, guaranteed. He's super excited to be down here.
Yeah, yeah, because I've seen that. I was seeing this like clip I saw on Instagram too. Was like a little write up, right?
Yeah,
This dude was in LA before he was like the off season, and some dude went into like he had a heat stroke, and Danny Duffy was just walking by and he saw that dude had a heat stroke, and Danny Duffy went and like kind of, I don't want to say resuscitated, but helped the dude through the heat stroke. He got him water. They called 911. EMT showed up and handled the situation. And the dude took a photo with Danny because I guess Danny was still around. He wanted to make sure like that the dude was okay before, and it was a stranger, right?
yeah,
And so the dude took a picture, and that's how I saw it. He's like, "Let me tell you a story about this guy named Danny." And then he's all, "Come find out, Danny played for the Kansas City Royals. He's a cool guy. He's all he made a fan out of me or something like that." And I gave you the super short version of it. But that to me is like, oh damn, I get excited for dudes like that. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
I get excited for dudes like that. So, and again, he's a Kobe fan. So, yeah, man, that's got to be. And he's a good pitcher, man. He's a very good pitcher. He's a
yeah.
quality number 5, 4 starter. You know, be the number 2 pitcher on the Angels
I was gonna
for
say
sure.
that, and I was trying to beat you to it, but I was waiting for you to
Yeah,
stop talking.
number 2 for sure. Be number 2.
Whatever,
Speaking
man.
of the Angels, I saw that on here. They made a move, right?
Yeah, we got rid of
Oh,
we traded away. We traded away Andrew Heaney to the Yankees
uh-huh.
for two of their
Girls.
prospects. Yeah, two pitching
Oh,
prospects. So we traded
yeah.
one for two. So
It's not like you drafted 25 of them.
I know, right? People in the I guess the Angels talk committees or whatever, people that talk about the Angels stuff, they're
Uh-huh.
saying, "Oh, well, it was a very quiet, successful pickup," and I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking about? These are two prospects that we just gave away one of our pitchers. Like, are you fucking kidding me right now?" However, they did call up Reed Detmers. He was supposed to play today, but I guess
It's just tomorrow.
Shohei's start, it got pushed from tomorrow to I think Tuesday.
Oh,
Because
okay.
he's got a little sore thumb or blister or some shit going on. I don't know what the fuck. And so they were like, yeah, we'll just bring him in. So Barria's pitching today, Detmer's tomorrow, so it'll be interesting. I'm definitely going to be excited to watch Detmer's pitch tomorrow. I'll
Okay.
definitely be watching that game and see how he does, because they were
All
saying that
right.
he was probably the most complete pitcher in the draft when they drafted him 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, whatever it was.
Never heard of
Um,
him.
they said he was coming out of St. Louis. I mean, they were saying he's the
Oh,
most complete, um, big league ready pitcher, and he was killing it down. He was with the Pandas, and then he went up
oh, okay.
to Seattle for one game, pitched there, and then he
Hmm.
got the call up. They're like, "Yeah, dude, you're going up."
You're ready. We
So
just traded Heaney and
yeah,
Shohei's crying about something else.
yeah. So coming in.
There you go.
So
Ready
yay, I
or
get to
not.
see him. I thought we weren't gonna see him till next year, but I guess the Angels said, "Fuck it, you're coming up now." Um,
There you go.
they had to make room for the two prospects that they sent. They just got put.
Basically.
Let's see. The White Sox acquired pitcher Craig Kimbrell from the Cubs
Hmm.
for second base Nick Madrigal and pitcher Cody Hewer. And
Yeah.
the Sox also acquired second baseman Cesar Hernandez from Cleveland, the Guardians, as they are going to be soon to be called, for pitcher
Hmm.
Connor Pinkleton. What do you think
Yeah.
about Kimbrell going to the White Sox? I know we kind of
Well,
mentioned
was
it
it just
yesterday.
yeah. It wasn't just Kimbrough. I like that they picked up Hernandez as well to
Yeah,
substitute in for Madrigal because Madrigal was their starting second baseman.
yeah,
I just don't think he is what they thought he was going to be. He was, a light hitting, but he was supposed to be, to me, a light hitting version of Howie Kendrick with more speed.
gotcha.
Right, is what everything I had read about him. He didn't have any pop. That's why Howie could, pop out like 15 tanks, a year.
Yeah.
This dude, if he ever cracked 10 in a year, would be like a career high.
No, I'm with you.
Cody Hoyer is a very good pitcher, reliever. So I kind of feel like they swapped Kimbrel. They upgraded in Kimbrel for Hoyer, and then they upgraded Hernandez for Madrigal. So to me, that's a win for the White Sox because they upgraded two positions. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
The players they had, they weren't bad, dude, but they just got upgrades in these two players for them. Cleveland's was a clear salary dump. That was obvious. That was a salary dump. But still, if the White Sox are like, hey, we want to win now, then there you go. They jumped on it. So I like that one. I think they came up. I really wanted Kimbrel for the Dodgers, to be honest. That's
yeah.
who I was hoping that they would pick up. I
There's,
was
they,
I was
they
hoping they'd get Scherzer and Kimbrel at the trade deadline. I think Trey Turner is the one that just floored me. I was very surprised that they got him.
Gotcha.
But dude, did you know Trey Turner is second in the NL in batting average? And
No,
he's
shut
like
up.
top 20 in like five categories or eight categories. I just saw it on the ticker yesterday, which is why I knew he was doing well, but I didn't realize he was second in batting average in the NL.
I didn't
I
know
don't know
that.
where he's at overall, but in the NL. And in the NL, I think I saw I think it was five or eight categories that he was top 20 in. So
Yeah.
like, wow, dude. That's why I'm telling you, like, personally, I just like Turner more than Seager. If I had to pick one dude, if you're like, all right, pick one dude to extend, which one you gonna extend? I'm like, oof, I'll extend Trey Turner. He has speed too. That's a big difference between
Yeah.
them. I feel like their defense is on par. Um, uh, Seager's never hit 300, I don't think. Maybe his rookie year when he first broke in. He's a high 200s hitter. He's like a 280, 290 kind of hitter.
Mm-hmm.
And Trey Turner's a 300 hitter. Like I think he might have a career 300 batting average.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why, and they hit about the same home runs. Turner scores more runs because he is at the top of the lineup. Yeah, dude, I like it. I like him. I like him a lot. And it's cool that at the very least we're gonna have both of them on the same team for the rest of the year.
There you go.
Because Seager just got back yesterday.
Yeah.
So, and the thing I was telling you was Turner. I know I brought it up earlier. Turner's on the COVID list, so I don't know when he's coming back.
We'll have to
So
wait and
that's
see.
why I
Yeah.
saw Scherzer is pitching on Wednesday. He's making his debut on Wednesday with the Dodgers. So
Definitely
I'll
be
be
watching
watching for
that.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know when Turner's coming back. They haven't said anything because he got pulled from a game, I think on like Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody was speculating that he had been traded, but then he didn't get traded and then he got put on the COVID list, right? So it's like, okay, well, he must be in quarantine. They don't, they obviously don't say if he has it or not, but
Yeah.
so
Right on. on. Moving
All
on
right.
to your division rivals, the Giants acquired third baseman outfielder Chris Bryant from the Cubs for 2 prospects. Chris Bryant, I think the Cub fans, I should say, knew it was coming sooner or later, and it finally happened. Chris Bryant is out of Chicago, and he's over with the Giants now.
Yeah, they had a nice little tribute to Chris Bryant. And they just said like, thank you for everything. You know, you were the rookie of the year. You're the MVP and a cornerstone to winning like a World Series title for us, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And they had a like nice interview piece with them and stuff like that on it. And that was really nice. The 2 players that I saw that seemed very emotional about leaving the Cubs were Rizzo and Bryant. I kind of feel like Baez was like, all right, peace out, you know?
Bye.
Yeah. And they didn't really even say anything like, hey, thanks for being here or anything like that with
Baez.
Baez. I was really surprised because my understanding I had read was that they were keeping one of those 3, you know?
Yeah.
But that team decided to just straight blow up, you know?
We're just gonna say, fuck it, we're done. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's
Everybody
restart.
gone, right?
Yeah.
They had this picture of kids that were at the game yesterday,
Uh-huh.
and they're all like, you know, youngsters, like I don't know, they look like 8-year-olds type of thing, and
Right.
they were wearing like one jersey of each guy. It said Brian Rizzo and
Baez.
and Baez, right? And they're like, who's gonna tell them? And it was like a crying, you know,
Mhm.
little emoji. It was like, oh damn, that just hurt. That just hurt,
Yeah.
you know. So yeah, but speaking of, you know, so if you didn't know, Javi Baez got traded to the Mets for Trevor Williams and
Uh-huh.
Trevor Williams for outfielder Pete Crow Armstrong.
Yeah.
Never heard of him. He better be a hell of a player to get rid of Baez and Trevor Williams, you know?
Yeah.
Um, I've just never heard of that dude, you know?
Neither have I.
So,
I hope he's worth the squeeze.
right. But I mean, Baez was a free agent at the end of this year, so I think they're just like, well, whatever we can get, we're not going to win this division, so let's just get
Let's
whatever
just
we
get what we
can, you
can
know?
while we can. Get
Yeah,
more guys that are.
anything will do. We're not re-signing them. So,
Yeah.
um,
The Blue
I don't
Jays.
know.
Did you get
So the Yankees got Rizzo from the Cubs for 2 prospects.
Uh huh.
You know, so there you go. They got more prospects and stuff like that. I saw something that was interesting because everybody was talking about Rizzo was going to go to the Red Sox, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Rizzo ended up going to the Yankees. And the reason I find that interesting is because Rizzo had a comment that he said, well, you know, I don't know if you knew, this is a little fun fact. Did you know Anthony Rizzo was at the game where David Cone threw his perfect game?
No.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, huh? So that means Rizzo must have been like a Yankees fan growing up, right?
Yeah.
And I believe, I could be wrong, but I believe Rizzo was drafted by the Red Sox and then got traded to the Padres organization. He made his major league debut with the Padres, and then the Padres traded him to the Cubs. But I could be wrong, but I believe that's how it was, right?
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, the reason I say that makes me believe that I'm right on that is Rizzo says he said I had heard or seen the rumors that I might go to the Red Sox. He's on, to be honest, I'd rather go play for the team that plays against the Red Sox than play for a team that had originally given up on me.
Oh.
So that makes me think that, oh yeah, that they originally drafted him and then traded him to the Padres. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I got you there.
And during that merry-go-round, do you know who he was getting swapped for during that time?
No.
I believe it was Adrian Gonzalez, because I believe Adrian was with the Padres, then went to the Red Sox, and is now with retired. But you know, he went Padres, Red Sox, and then Dodgers. You know,
Yeah.
so
Right on. Well,
anyway,
I
so
didn't
those are the
know
3
that
big
about
dogs.
Rizzo though.
Yeah, I'm gonna check right now. Meanwhile, you kind of talk about the next one because we talk
Um.
about another team in there, and the Yankees. The other big move for our
Yeah.
boy
The
Evan was they
Yankees.
got
They
Joey
got
Gallo,
fucking
right?
Joey Gallo for pitcher
Joey Bats.
Jolie. Oh, they got Joey Gallo and Jolie Rodriguez from the Rangers for 4 prospects. So the Yankees are just dumping everybody they have in reserves right now
Right.
to go get some guys that are gonna help them win right now. So that's pretty interesting. They got 2 huge bats with Rizzo and Gallo. So they did. We were talking about this yesterday too. They have a lot of right-handed guys, and they needed some
Mhm.
lefties, and
Yep.
they're getting that. So I
And they
mean,
got extreme with it because they went and got Heaney too, another
yeah,
lefty
yeah,
pitcher, but
he's a
lefty.
pitcher though. But Yankee Stadium is notorious for left-handed bats,
Right.
and the Yankees are huge, or they used to be huge, on getting
Hmm.
left-handed guys or switch-hitting guys to be able to use that short porch in left and right field, I should say. And
Hmm.
they kind of went away from that this last season, and it kind of I think it bit them in the ass a little bit, and now they're
Yeah.
trying to recover. Whether or not it's going to be too little, too late, we'll have to wait and see. In that
I
same division, what
I
happened?
just think they're trying to appease the fan base no matter what, right? Because they're like, it can't be like, hey, look, the fan base is so brutal. They've been booing their own team and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Like they are like super hardcore for fair weather fans type of thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, we know that. I'm no surprised to see it from New Yorkers. Like, I know that that fan base is super fair weather because in SoCal, like, dude, people love the Yankees when they're winning, right? But when
Yeah.
they're not, bro, you ain't never heard from them. Yeah.
The Red Sox have
Red Sox.
acquired outfielder, designated hitter Kyle Schwarber from the Nationals. So the Nationals are also dropping people left and right. But they did pick up pitcher Aldo Ramirez. I don't really know him, so hopefully that's a good move for them. The Mariners acquired pitcher Diego Castillo from the Rays for JT Chargios, and third baseman Austin Shelton. So the Mariners were making a little bit of moves over there. Nothing crazy, but they were making some moves.
Did you say the one about the Blue Jays getting Jose Barrios?
Oh no, we were
That
going
was a
down the
good
list and
one.
we skipped them. Yeah, the Blue Jays did acquire Jose Barrios from the Twins for pitchers Simeon Woods Richardson and shortstop center fielder Austin Martin. So that'll be pretty awesome
Hmm.
that they have that. Those guys are making moves, but they're in the hunt for some shit. So we'll have to wait and see if that propels them into a in that playoffs talk, I should say. I forgot how to speak. The Braves acquired outfielder Adam Duvall from the Marlins for catcher Alex Jackson, who they also acquired who was it, outfielder Eddie Rosario from the Cleveland, and Pablo Sandoval, or for Pablo Sandoval, I should say. And they also acquired the pitcher Richard Rodriguez, not the
Wasn't he Angel?
no, that you're thinking about Chris Rodriguez.
Oh,
This
okay.
is Richard Rodriguez from Pittsburgh, and pitcher Ricky DeVito and pitcher Bryson Wilson. They also these guys were fucking buying left and right, huh?
Yeah.
Acquired outfielder designated hitter George Soler from the Royals for pitcher, I should say, Casey Kalich. So the
Hmm.
Braves are another big team going out there getting people, huh?
Yeah.
I was
Yeah,
surprised.
they're not going down without a fight, man. I was really surprised because when Acuna went down, they went and picked up an outfielder. I'm drawing a blank on who they picked up right away,
Right.
but they went and picked up an outfielder. First thing they did.
Uh huh.
And now they've been kind of fighting. I want to see. It makes me think like, man, I thought they were out, and it looks like they're like, you know what? We're not going down without a fight.
They're gonna go out swinging if they're gonna go
They
out.
are, right? Where are they at here? Let me see. They're in third place, dude, but they're only 4 games out of first.
Hmm.
But the Mets are in first, Phillies in second at 3.5, and Atlanta's right there. And let's see here, playoffs.
Playoffs.
Playoffs. Where would they be? They'd be sitting. Um, is that right? What is this? Why does it say plus 42? Doesn't really quite tell me where they're at in terms of playoff. They ain't gonna catch the Dodgers in terms of playoffs, you know?
Yeah.
Because it's Dodgers in San Diego right now. Oh, I see it now. Yeah, they're 8 games back of the wild card, so they have a better chance of winning their division than they do making a wild card spot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, man, I was a little surprised, but I mean, Phillies made some moves too, and that's kind of next up on the rundown here, right?
Yeah. The Phillies acquired Kyle Gibson, pitchers Kyle Gibson and Ian Kennedy, and
Hmm.
Hans Cruz from the Rangers for pitcher Spencer Howard and 2 prospects. So the Phillies
That's
are
hard.
also
Yeah,
the Phillies are also
that
going
was
to
a
go
big
out,
prospect.
go swinging over there.
What?
I said the Phillies are trying to go out swinging too.
Oh yeah, yeah. But they caught a little bad break yesterday. I don't know how bad it is. It doesn't look as bad as the break the Padres got, but we'll get to that in a little bit.
All right.
But yeah, the pitcher that they gave up, Spencer Howard, was like one of their top pitching prospects, and he's been throwing a bit for them this year, but that dude hasn't quite lived up to expectations. So the Rangers are like, hey, come over here. I'm sure you'll do much better over here. But the Rangers were definitely trying to be sellers and rebuild because they gave up everybody,
Yeah.
They gave, and their biggest chip was obviously Gallo.
Yeah. Well, Houston started off pretty big too. They're just trying to make themselves a little bit better. After getting Yimi Garcia and Kendall Graveman, they added an already thin bullpen. They added Matten, who struck out 93 out of in 63 innings for Cleveland over the last 2 years, which is pretty good. So they're reinforcing that bullpen.
Yeah, man, that bullpen is not the blow pen like the Angels got, right?
No, dude, it's so fucking terrible, bro. Yesterday, Sandoval pitched, I believe it was 7 innings with 1 run, and the Angels couldn't come up with help.
Damn.
So, and it was sad because the bullpen came in, gave up another run, so it was 2-0. The Angels lost 2-0 yesterday. Nobody was able to hit. Nobody was able to move the guys that were on base to score, so which was terrible.
Shohei doesn't hit a homer when it matters, huh?
I guess. He's only got 37 of them. Well, whatever.
I think he's 35, no?
37.
Oh, all right. I saw that the other day when he hit one. I forgot what it was. I think it was number 36. And they hit a home run, and a lot of people were saying, "Don't mind the score."
Oh, it's what he hit. He hit number 36. They were losing. Like
yeah,
10
it was,
to 2.
And it was like they were getting their asses whooped. The Angels.
Yeah, it was 10 to.
And it said like, "Don't mind the score." It was like, where was it like 12? Seattle or who was it?
No,
playing?
it was. They were losing 10-0 at the time, and he hit it, and it was a 3-run bomb. And it was 10 to 3. I think we ended up losing 12 to 4.
Oh, okay.
At the end, but.
Yeah. So I thought that was hilarious, dude. I thought it was funny.
Let's see. The Cardinals acquired John Lester from the Nationals for outfielder Lane Thomas. So the Cards got another veteran pitcher, I should say. I was gonna say seasoned, but veteran sounds better.
Right. That's kind of interesting, that one to me, because John Lester was a Cub, and the Cardinals and Cubs are big like mortal enemies,
Yeah.
So that was interesting. Of John's like, I'm going where?
You're sending me who? What now?
Because it's like sending John Lester to the Yankees too, like he was part of 2 big rivalries. He was part of the, Red Sox and Yankees, and then part of the Cubs and Cardinals,
Yeah.
So it's like, damn.
It's gonna be an interesting one.
Yeah. I know what that feels like.
The Brew Crew acquired pitcher Daniel Norris from the Tigers and also Reese Olson. They also acquired Willie Adames from the Rays earlier in the month, and they added another bat in the lineup by trading for switch hitter Eduardo Escobar from Arizona to play third base. So the Brewers are also.
I think they're for real too, man.
Yeah.
I think they're real good. Their pitching was already stacked. Yelich has not been that dude for a while now.
But everybody else is stepping up for him.
They have. Adames has been nice, dude. That dude has resurrected his career. Going with Milwaukee, he's a really good player, and Eduardo was having a hell of a year this year. I think he hit a home run in his first game with them too, and I think he's got like 24 bombs this year.
Okay.
Yeah, and I didn't see the Cardinals got another pitcher. They got J.A. Happ from the Twins. Yeah, for John Gant and Evan Sisk.
Sisk.
Man, dude, so they picked up 2 starters.
Yeah.
They have a good bullpen, but kind of like the opposite of the Angels, they needed started pitching, but they had a good bullpen, so I guess they're just trying to shore that up. Oakland, to me, is making a lot some surprise moves. They made 2 big moves.
Big moves. They got Starling Marte from Miami, and they sent over their Jesus Luzardo, and the A's also did acquire Yan Gomes and the Josh Harrison from the Nationals for 3 prospects. So Oakland's trying to make sure that they keep up with the Astros there.
Yeah,
it's going to make the AL West that much harder. Since the Angels didn't do much, but in the next few years, hopefully, the pitching looks better. The pitching definitely looks like it's going to get better for the Angels sooner than later, but not soon enough for this season. The big name that was on the trading block that everybody was talking about that didn't do anything or go anywhere was Trevor Story. And we talked about this yesterday as well on the golf course. Did the Rockies make a mistake in not dealing Trevor Story?
I think so. But remember, he could still go through waivers.
Yeah.
It's tricky.
But do you think somebody's going to want to give up all that going through waivers? Because you lose draft picks and stuff like that in the waivers, right?
It's tricky. I forget how that worked. But I remember a couple years ago, who was it? Verlander got picked up through waivers by Houston.
Mm-hmm.
That was a game changer, you know? Um, who else? I kind of want to see who some of the bigger names that have impacted that year that got picked up through waivers. But Verlander is like one I could think of that Houston picked up Verlander in waivers. I was like, say what? Say what?
Who'd they get? How?
You know? Yeah. So that one was like a big one. I'm trying to think. I want to say Randy Johnson was another one too, but I could be wrong. Way back when. But so I kind of feel like something might happen still with him through waivers. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know how it works with waivers because a lot of times with waivers, teams try to block other teams through waivers. So they'll put in like a waiver claim for him, but they actually don't want him. They just want to block another team from getting him, so they'll
Yeah.
put in the claim.
Oh,
Does that
okay.
make sense?
Yeah.
So, but I'm not sure how it works. I wish I knew somebody that didn't know how that works.
Okay.
But I do think they made a mistake by not trading him because I don't think they're not going to sign him, and I don't think he wants to sign with them for a long-term contract. And I don't know if it works where they go out. It's not. I don't think it's like the NBA where they go out for him the most money to stay at home. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he's going to get big money somewhere. You know, and why would you want to stay with the Rockies, man? They didn't make any moves to pick anybody up.
Yeah. It's one of those things. Sometimes the biggest name you think is going to go somewhere doesn't do anything and it just fucking sits still. But he's going to make a splash somewhere in the offseason. I'll tell you that much.
I think the Angels need another hitter.
Yeah. We need so many more hitters. Jesus Christ.
Hey, and another one to add to your list yesterday came up that I thought of.
What?
Another buster of a hitter, Vernon Wells.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Don't even bring him
Man.
up, bro. I don't know why the
Jeez.
Angels went and got him that year.
I mean,
It's ridiculous.
man, I need to start like a list, right? Like Mo Vaughn, Vernon Wells, Gary Matthews, Josh Hamilton, Albert Pujols.
Can we just
Anthony
not, dude?
Jones.
Can we not? Can we? We're at
Like,
the end of the
wow.
fucking show, bro. Can we not right now?
Just
Come
didn't
on.
realize it. Like, man, that is a lot. Vlad's the only one that's been like successful from beginning to end.
Yeah.
That
You
you
want to
guys have
add
got,
Mo
right?
Vaughn?
And that's it.
You want to add Mo Vaughn to that?
He was the first one I said,
Yeah.
but he wasn't
Oh, did
successful
you?
from beginning to end.
No, that's what I'm saying. You
He had
add
one
him to
good
the
year
list
at
of the
the
other
time.
ones you had.
Yeah, but like, man, I'm trying to think of another one that was really good, and successful from beginning to end, like free agent ad hitter.
I can't think of one, dude.
Yeah, I think like the ones that I really liked personally that were Angels were homegrown guys: Garrett Anderson, Tim Salmon. I used to like, remember Gary DiSarcina? I really
Oh, I
like
love
Gary
Gary
a lot.
DiSarcina.
I like
I'm
Gary.
sad he
Yeah,
fucked
you
up his
know?
hand.
Yeah, Gary.
D-Sar's my guy.
Troy Loss
I
was
got a
great,
picture with
you know?
him too.
Got a picture of him.
I have a picture with him. It's a blurry ass picture
uh,
because the person who took the picture didn't know what the fuck they were doing.
That's funny. Howie Kendrick,
HK,
Kendrick
yeah.
Morales, right? I mean, those are all homegrown dudes, right? Because Kendry was a homegrown, right?
Yes.
He was drafted, yeah.
Yeah.
So Benji Molina, like all homegrown dudes that I particularly like. I just can't think of any like free agents that I like besides Vlad. That was the only one that I could think of that I was like, damn, that dude was a really good signing for the Angels, you know?
Yeah.
So, all right.
Let's get into a quick injury report, and then we got some updated World Series odds before we get out of here, guys.
Mhm.
Tatis looks like he fucked up his shoulder all over again.
Yeah, man. Did you see it or no?
Sliding into third base.
Kind of sliding into third. He was like trying to slide away, get
And
to
he
third
jammed
base.
his shit, yeah.
Yeah, that looked bad, man.
That's
There
not
goes my
good for
chances
the
of,
San Diego Padres.
yeah. Good for the Dodgers, but he's not a dude I want to see get hurt, man.
Yeah, you
Even
want to
though
see
he's
those
good,
kind of guys play.
I do. And I think he had a shot at 50-50, maybe 40-40. I felt like was almost a lock with him because he was already at 20-something steals and approaching I don't know, I think he had 31 home runs, right? Does he have 31?
I'm not sure. 30
so
or 31.
I honestly think he had an outside shot, and I say outside, right?
Mhm.
Shot at 50-50, dude, which would have been the first time ever,
Mhm.
but now you could kiss 50-50 goodbye, and honestly, I don't see 40-40 anymore,
Yeah, don't
'Cause,
steal
I
no
mean,
more,
he's gotta
bro.
come back quick.
Use
He's
your
gotta
feet.
come back
Slide feet
quick.
first.
Yeah, but 30-30 still right there if he comes back because
Oh
he only
yeah,
needs a couple more steals and, if anything, a couple more tanks.
there you go.
Yeah. But the other big dude that got hurt
Harper.
was Bryce Harper. Wasn't his didn't look like serious like the way Tatis did, but I saw it last night. So Bryce kind of misplayed like a ball in the outfield, right in right field, and he kind of slammed into the outfield once, right there, and that one didn't look that bad. But the second one, he didn't really misplay it. He went for it pretty hard, and he kind of turned at the last second, and you could tell like the pointy part of your hip
Mm-hmm.
um hit the wall, and he came up and you're like, oh, and it just so happened that that was kind of the same spot that hit the wall last time
Earlier,
too.
yeah,
Yeah, it was just in a different kind of sequence. I don't know how to explain it, but you could clearly tell the second one that he hit that direct.
yeah,
The other one was more like indirect, and you could tell like, oh damn, he got a little bit of a hit pointer on that one, and he's probably gonna be sore or out for a couple of days,
yeah.
type of thing. So he came out of the game. So that's another one. And I'm kind of wondering, I threw it in here because I'm kind of wondering what the hell's going on with your dude Trout, man. The
Uh,
reason I bring it up is because, dude, you had a little, didn't you say 6 days at first? And then it
no,
turned
I
into six
said
to eight
6 weeks.
weeks. Yeah, no, that's what they said. But I remember you saying six
No,
days
I
is what I
said
remember. Someone
six
play the tapes.
weeks. Play the
Someone
tapes.
check the
Check the
tapes.
tapes. Check the
I'm
tapes.
pretty sure he'll be fine. He'll be big out there next week. And it's like, oh,
Well,
damn. I was
apparently
thinking,
he was doing a little bit of running, and he noticed that he was still feeling something there, and
mm,
so they're just taking a look at him now, and they don't know what's going to happen. One of the announcers was talking about, sometimes when you get an injury like that, like you get into your head a little bit too much about like, is it really still hurt? Am I really 100 now? Can I keep
mm.
going? You start feeling things that maybe aren't really there. But they said they're obviously with Trout, they're going to take their time and make sure he's good before he comes back. And
Yeah.
it is what
Especially
it is.
since they didn't make any moves, man. It's not like they're trying to win. They're saying, like, basically, at least the way I see it from the Angels, they're like, man, if we make it, we make it. If we don't, there's always next year. Isn't that the feel
That's
you
kind of
got
the
from
feel.
this or no?
And as a fan, I that's the feel that I get, and I hate that. But at the same time, I mean, I don't want to say I understand it, but I just you're on the cusp. You have the opportunity to compete for a wild card spot. Obviously, when Trout comes back, he's obviously a bigger bat to come in and help out. Upton's back. He just hit another jack the other day.
Hmm.
So you're going to have that. And they're even talking about Trout getting moved from center field over to the left field.
Yeah, he's the
Um,
worst defensive center fielder in baseball.
yeah. And we talked about this before. And but so it's just one of those things where I wish they would maybe not go balls out and go, we want to win now, but we want to win soon is what I want them to do.
Oh, I'm seeing right here, dude. They are 7 games out of a wild card spot, and they would have to jump 4 teams.
7 games
That's
out. That's still doable.
No, it's not. Not
Yeah.
when you have to jump 4 teams. If you had to jump only 2 teams or
Hmm.
three, sure, but you're at four and yeah, man, I don't see it. And all the teams that they have to jump, dude, two of them are in your division.
Hmm.
Two of them are in your division. You have
It's
to jump
I
two
didn't
teams
say
in your
it was
division.
impossible. I just said it was possible.
Mm. I say I'm calling impossible. I'll call it impossible.
I highly doubt that they're going to do it, but it's and anything can
I'd
happen, dude.
put $1. It says I don't. They don't.
Oh, I'm
Put
with you on
more.
that
I
dollar.
could take whatever.
No, I'm with you
But
on that
I just
dollar.
don't see it. Like they're not bringing back any players. They didn't make any moves to get players.
Yeah.
I mean, they got rid of. I mean, not players that are going to help you right now. They. I don't know if it was a great draft because I don't know any of those pitchers, but they picked up. They went after what they needed. Like they
Hmm.
needed pitching. They needed depth in the minors at pitching, develop guys, and bring them up. But is it going to be like at what point? Because minor leaguers are going to take what 3 years,
Yeah.
right? Would you say before they start really coming up,
Unless
right?
they're superstars, but yeah.
Yeah, 3 years. So we're talking 3 more years of Trout from now. He'll be 32, 33,
Hmm.
right? Before these dudes start coming up. Not even like start being like great players. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
It's
I
gonna
don't
be
know.
rough.
Unless you use them as leverage to trade for other players, which they did not do
Yeah.
this trade deadline, and There's dudes. Yeah, Scherzer was a name that I text you that they said was
Yeah.
possibility for the Angels. You know,
And I
hey,
told
bro.
you, straight
Yeah.
up. I was like, it's not gonna happen, dude. Like it's
Yes,
good.
man.
I'll hope, but I doubt it's gonna happen. There's no way.
Yeah,
There's no way. They're not gonna
dude.
give up enough for Scherzer.
Right. I mean, but at least Bauer might be available. You know, pretty soon here. If you're still
Available for
interested.
the California Penal League.
If you're still interested, he might be available here pretty
I'm
soon.
good
You know,
now. I'm
I
good
kind of
now.
feel like the writing's on the wall there, bro.
Yeah, no,
You
it's
know, with
done.
getting Scherzer, it's like, oh man, all right, he gone. You know,
Yeah,
and we're just gonna get money on the books from that. It's just a matter of time. You know.
yeah. Corey Seager's coming
So
back. He came back
he came
yesterday,
back
right?
yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's really interesting. Me and you had talked off air because, you know, between me, for me, I love the homegrown players. Even in the Angels, I love the homegrown players no matter what, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm a little partial to them. So Corey Seager is homegrown, but they weren't able to sign him extend him this past off season. Again, he was at his highest value, and he's like, oh, I, was the World Series MVP, NLCS MVP, and I'm gonna come in here and I'm gonna have a good year, and I'm gonna max out on contract. Of course, he got hurt, and he has not had the year that everybody thought he was. He had a great spring training too,
Right.
and now the Dodgers are like, all right, well, they put some pressure on him by going and getting Trey Turner. And personally, while I love Corey Seager, I think Trey Turner is the better player of the two. And
Okay.
Trey, they have him for the rest of this year, one more year. So I feel like that's the Dodgers putting the pressure on Corey and for sure almost saying, hey, Corey, goodbye. We tried. It didn't work out. Good luck somewhere else. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? And I think they're basically going to shift the money that they were going to give to Corey over to Trey, maybe even bump it up a little bit more, which makes sense to me because I personally think Trey is a little bit of a better player than Corey Seager, you know?
Gotcha. Yeah.
And he's less injury prone. Corey Seager's been hurt a couple different times, you know? Not to say he's never played a full season, but I don't think he's ever had a season where he um, hasn't gone out for a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, man. So, but it's crazy because now we got two Turners on the team. You know?
Turner. You do got two Turners.
Yeah. A lot of people don't think about that. But we got two Turners. So I wonder if they're gonna have like the initial on the first name on their last names of the jerseys now. You know?
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's what's what. I like them. They get to play. I feel they're gonna play out a year obviously together no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be awesome. I'm curious to see which one of them plays second base, which one plays short. Corey Seager's come out and said that he'd really like to be the shortstop. He thinks he's the shortstop, but he said we'll see, we'll
We'll see
play it
how it
out.
goes.
We'll
Yeah.
see, yeah, see how it plays out. Yeah, man. I don't know. Curious to see how that works out.
All right. Real quick, guys. Updated World Series odds after the trade deadline, and we'll get out of here. The Dodgers are number one right now, especially after all the acquisitions that just happened. Astros are right behind them. White Sox, Padres, Giants, Mets, Red Sox, Brewers, Rays, and then Yankees have popped back into the bunch since they picked up a couple players. So that's interesting, though.
Mm,
I did mention off the air the Pirates are 1 in 100,000 or 100,000 to
yeah.
1 to win the World Series. But
Wow.
these are
The
the
Angels are
update.
right ahead of them.
Yeah, they're like 4 ahead of them. The Dodgers, Astros, White Sox, and Padres are the big money spenders, I guess you want to get to go get people, and they're showing that they want to be up there to compete for another World Series. It'd be interesting to see the Dodgers and the Astros in the World Series again, just so the Dodgers can get some payback.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That would be interesting, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see. So these teams right here now that made all these moves,
Uh huh.
who's the one that really said, all right, they locked up a playoff spot?
Mm,
Give me two from the American League and two from the National that you're like, oh damn, I kind of think they locked in a playoff spot here.
Padres,
Even
and
with Tatis getting hurt.
even with that, these getting hurt, I think they still lock up a wild card spot.
Interesting. Even
It's
though they're
fucking-
third place in their own division. Okay.
I want to say the Mets, but the Grom doesn't look like he's going to come back. So
No?
no, I don't think so. I think he's had a
Oh, wow.
setback. So I'm going to go with the
damn.
Brewers for the National League. I got
Mm,
Padres and Brewers,
okay.
and then for the
I'm
American
gonna
League,
take. I'm gonna. I'm gonna take my Dodgers and the Brewers on that one for locks. I well, you made me change. I was gonna say the Mets until you said the whole thing about DeGrom.
Yeah.
But I think the Brewers and I think the Dodgers because the Dodgers are gonna get in as a wild card at the very least.
Oh,
I really hope they win that division, but I think they get into the wild card now for sure at the very least. But I think they don't want a wild card. They're like, hey, let's try win the division, and if we get in a wild card, then okay, we get into the wild card. You know?
yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I think that's the way they're seeing it. And I think the Brewers, they didn't give up much, man, and they got so much better, and they've already been doing really well. You know what I'm saying?
And I think
So
for
go for
lock on the American League, the Astros and White Sox, I think they're both going to make the playoffs very easily.
Who? Say that again?
Astros and White Sox.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I would go with those two. Also, I totally agree with you. The bullpen, they already had a real good hitting team, and now they just locked up that bullpen. Their starters weren't that good. I don't think they're that good. The Astros starters, I think that's where their weak spots at, if you ask me.
Yeah.
But the White Sox, man, they just got better. They upgraded two position players already, or two players. You know, that's what I had told you earlier.
Yeah.
And they're already leading, and they've been good. So yeah, man, lock it in, folks.
Lock it in. All right, guys. I know we were gone for about 2 weeks, but we gave you a nice long show today. I hope you guys enjoyed every part of it. Mr. Compadre, any last thoughts before we get out of here?
Nah, just remember, if you don't want the vaccine, be prepared like the NFL. You're gonna have to deal with the consequences. It's up to you, your choice. We just make whatever decision's best for you and your family, but I want to hear you crying about the consequences.
There you go. All right, guys, that's going to be it for us today. Compadre, I love you, man. Hopefully we see you tomorrow. If not, then I'll see you soon. Good luck starting back at work on Monday. I start back at work also on Monday after my little vacation honeymoon. So I'm excited but not excited all at the same time. But
Gotcha.
everybody else, take care. Have a good one. Compadre, I'll see you later.
Yeah.
See you next week, guys.
There I go. All right, Brent.